Hey friends, today we're making a sweet little air dry clay flower frog. Then we will head to Trader Joe's to pick out flowers and then head back home to finish our project. Stay tuned for decorating ideas and the ancient history of flower frogs. Let's dive in. Okay, to begin your project, you will need these supplies: a jar for your flowers, air dry clay, round cookie cutter, a rolling pin, a disposable straw, sealer, paintbrush, paint, and flowers. All right, let's get started. The first thing you want to do is determine the size of your flower frog based on the top of the jar you'll be using. Once you have that in mind, grab a nice ball of air dry clay and warm it up in your hands. This is going to make it easier to work with, and who doesn't love getting their hands a little messy? Next, pat out the dough, or air dry clay, and then roll it out. You want it to be nice and even with a thickness about 1/4 of an inch or a little less. This is a great time to let your creativity flow. You can use pattern rollers and lace to make designs on your clay or carve in designs. Now grab your cookie cutter. I'm using a scalloped round one, but you could get creative with shapes like flowers. Press it down into your clay, and once done, carefully remove the clay around the edges. Now lift the cookie cutter, and if you need help, use a spatula to lift it from the table. Now for the fun part. Grab a disposable straw and use it to make holes in the clay, starting with one in the center. These holes are where the flowers will go, so make sure they're spaced out even for the stems to fit. You can also use your finger to make a ruffled effect around the edge, which I ended up doing with another frog that I'll show you later. Once that's done, set it aside and let it dry for several days. If you're in a hurry and want to speed up the drying time, check the link in the description for my instructions on how to bake air dry clay. Now that our flower frog is drying, it's time to head to Trader Joe's and pick out some fresh flowers. I'm looking for a small bouquet or something with a wildflower look for these tiny arrangements. I think chamomile or lavender would look so pretty. I love how delicate and whimsical these flowers are, perfect for our charming new flower frog. Okay, let's grab our flowers and head home. So they're finally dry. It took 3 days. I made these on Saturday. And I even baked them. And I have a DIY on how you can bake air dry clay to dry it quicker. It's not recommended, and I'm going to just tell you that I've had success every time I've done it. But even then, it wasn't dry enough, so I had to let it dry another day. But here's a little ruffle one I made. It was super easy. I just tucked my finger under each side to make that ruffle. And here's my little yogurt cup that I'm gonna put that one on. Isn't that cute? So I think I want to paint this one a blue color to match my kitchen. This one would be really cute in my kitchen window. So let's paint it. The blue one. I'm gonna do the others in white. That way it matches everything. And honestly, I only have one jar that I planned these bigger ones for. So we're gonna have to figure out what to put them on, to put flowers in them. But anyways, let's paint these white. see if the paint is dry. Yep, they're all dry. And now we have to put a sealant on them because they are somewhat near water. I just want to be safe. I'm actually thinking a spray would be better because then it can get down into the holes. But if you only have decoupage or Mod Podge, it's okay to use that too. Just try to get down in those holes as you do it. But let's take this outside and we will spray it because you definitely don't want to spray inside. Way out there, but in lieu of time and because it's drizzling, I'm going to do this real quick, holding it here. There's two. Four. My hand is so sticky. Let's see. Let's see how this comes off my hands. I've never held it. I mean, I feel like I've got like a layer of film on my hands. So let's see if it'll come off. And this feels really weird and it's not coming off easy. Okay, we're gonna give this 10 to 15 minutes to dry and then I'll be back. Okay, so we have about 5 more minutes and I wanted to show you the other containers that I'm planning on using. So one of them was the yogurt jar, which is O-U-I, pronounced oui, which is yes in French, according to my daughter. I thought we would use a mason jar for one of them because, I mean, I love mason jar flowers. I think they're just the sweetest. I have this crock that flowers came in a long time ago. It was actually a collaboration for a tablescape for Thanksgiving one year, and it was so beautiful. I'll put a link in the description to it. And then the last one, I thought, how fun would it be to do one in a teacup? And the cool thing about this is this teacup belonged to my grandmother, who we call Ranny. And the very first flower frog I ever saw was at her house, and this was her flower frog. That's hard to say. So this project is very nostalgic to me because I have such good, fond memories of her. But I inherited all of her curio knives that she collected at the grocery store over the years. So we're going to do a flower arrangement in that. So let's start doing the flowers. And the first thing we need to do is put the frogs on each of the jars. So what exactly is a flower frog? Well, it's a flower arranging tool that originated in the 16th century in Japan for ikebana, flower arranging. Flower frogs became popular in Europe and America by the early 20th century. They were made from glass, metal, and ceramic to help hold flower stems in place for more structured floral displays. Isn't that cool? So one of the things I do is I take the jar and I put it on the edge of the counter here. And then that way I can cut off a flower and then sit it next to it to figure out about where I want to trim it. So this helps me get a more precise trim. Now also, because we're going in these holes, like stems like this, you'll either have to push them down in there or you may have to cut them off. And I also thought some lavender would be pretty, and I think I have some lavender, so let me go check. So I do have some dried lavender, and even though it's dried, I still think it would be cute in there. So let's pull some of them out and we'll stick them in too. In fact, I'm going to put it in the same hole like that. You can find vintage flower frogs at antique stores, thrift shops, and even on Etsy. I'll add a link to a few authentic ones in the description if you want to check them out. Now that our flower frogs are ready, let's get decorating. Look how cute! It turned out so pretty. My gosh, what a fun idea. This was a keeper. I would definitely try this. Work on the mason jar. Well, here they are. They're all done and they're so pretty. So what I thought we would do is we would go around the house and I'll show you some ideas of where you can decorate with them. So let's head to my dining room, living room area. I just love how they turned out. They're so pretty. So my first decorating idea with these cute little flower frogs is right here on my bookcase. Bookcases are great places to put little flower arrangements. And I'm actually going to use the biggest one on my bookcase. So a few ideas on this was I thought you could stack some plates like here and sit it on a plate like so. Or I felt like it'd be nice to put some color up here, so I thought, let's put it up here. Okay, so our next idea is in the bathroom. So follow me and let's go to the bathroom. So in the bathroom, we have this little area over here on this table. Or on this chest of drawers. And I figured the mason jar would be just the right size to sit over here with these apothecary jars or glass jars. And this is such a great idea for when you've got guests coming to spend the weekend or to stay the night. Just put out some fresh flowers in your bathroom to make them feel extra special. Now, let's go to the bedroom where guests will be sleeping, and there's another idea in there. In this room, I originally was thinking about putting the teacup in here, but now I'm thinking I might put the teacup in the kitchen. So let's put the other arrangement in here by the books and stuff. Now last one, let's head to the kitchen and I'll show you my idea of where to put your flower arrangement in there. And my last idea is up here in the windowsill. Windowsills are such fun and whimsical places to just put lots of flowers and plants. You can never go wrong with that. You can also put a cutting board on your stove and sit it on your stove with a candle. There's so many places in your kitchen that you could put it, but I'm going to put this one in the windowsill with all my little crocks. Okay, we've got all our flower arrangements in place. So grab your favorite drink and cozy up as we take one last peek at how we've styled these sweet flower frog arrangements around the house. I hope you had fun hanging out with me today and making this cozy air dry clay flower frog. Don't forget to give this DIY a try and let me know how it turns out. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on more fun and creative projects. Also, make sure to come visit me over on my blog, Life on Summerhill, for even more decorating ideas and DIY inspiration. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you soon. Bye!